What I'm going to do is I'm going to drive around this route and tell you exactly what I would do if this was my driving test. If your driving test is at Barking, Barking is one of the driving test centres that doesn't have a car park, but there is lots of parking on street. Most of it's on a yellow line though. So if you're coming with friends, family, mum or dad, might want to get them to wait in the car while you go into the driving test centre and meet the examiner, just so that you don't get a parking ticket. But the examiners are well used to and expecting you.
After 200 yards, turn right.
Okay, expecting you to park on the road. Okay, she said 200 yards turn right, but I can see that this is a junction as well. I've got a giveaway line in front of me, so I'm going to slow right down into first gear, looking to the right. I slowed it right down there. I was under 5 miles an hour. Temporary traffic lights outside the test centre. The test centre is just ahead of us right there. We're going to have a lot of learner activity. We're going to have a lot of traffic and a lot of cars. Checking my mirrors before I move off. When you're at temporary traffic lights like that, there will always be a sign saying wait here. That's the spot that you wait, because there's no white line on the floor to tell you exactly where to wait. Okay, it's the beginning of my driving test, so I'm taking this nice and slow. Mirrors and signal, positioning next to the centre line of the road, and I'm looking right and left before I get to the line, just in case I can go. You won't necessarily get a driver fault for stopping at a giveaway line when it's clear, but if it is clear, you should be going and making progress. If it's so obviously clear that the examiner is going to ask why you stopped, then you might get a fault for hesitation. So it's a really good technique to approach giveaway lines while looking to see if it's clear. I'm checking my mirrors periodically as I'm driving down this road, just to see what's around me. Any motorbikes?
After 200 yards, go left on the roundabout and take the first exit.
Okay, cool. I was anticipating that bus right there because I could see it coming and I wasn't approaching the road very quickly. I could see that lights just turned green. I'm just double checking the mirror behind me to make sure that van that's behind is still as far ahead as I thought it was as I'm coming to a stop. I want to know what's behind me if I'm coming to a stop, just in case they're right up my arse.
Go left on the roundabout and take the first exit.
And that will tell me how hard I can brake. Okay, I'm going to signal from here. Not too early, but not too late. I'm just checking right, there might be a cyclist, might be a police car, even though my light's green. Slowing down for these pedestrians. I'm anticipating this car is going to set off as well. And what's this grey? Okay, I'm going to check my right mirror and move around him. I don't want to let everybody go. It is my priority, and I do want to show that I understand priority. If I just stop to let everyone go, the examiner might be questioning if I understand how priority works. I can see brake lights in the distance and a line of parked cars, so I'm checking my mirrors in advance. Traffic lights in the distance means that they might change. All of this is just planning ahead. All I'm doing is calling out what's ahead of me and what I might have to do about it. So I can see that these traffic lights aren't connected to a junction, which means that they won't change. Traffic lights connected to a junction will change randomly just to control the flow of traffic. Those ones not connected to a junction will only activate if a pedestrian pushes them. Okay, brake lights in the distance. This van ahead seems to be faulty, because I could see the car ahead of them braking, but there were no brake lights on this van, which is another good reason why it's not just good enough to stare and look at the car in front. You have to look 5-10 cars ahead to see what's going on. That car, that van would not pass an MOT in this country. Remembering when to check mirrors as well, guys. Anytime you change speed, anytime you change direction, and any time before you signal. So I set off there and I'm checking my mirrors. What's happening on my right, what's happening on my left? I want to know that, because what if a cyclist is passing me on my left or a motorbike on my right? I would want to know that information before, I forgot to turn the foot cam light on. I would want to know that information before I set off, so that I could take evasive action if they were there, or even if it's a motorbike, just let them go first. Where's the MD? MD on the number plate, interesting. Is that Moldova? I don't recognize that flag. I'm normally quite good at flags. Okay, just looking over the tops of these cars, I can see the lights turn green. Checking my mirrors, there's no cyclists, there's no motorbikes. I'm good to go, making sure my signal stays on, and I'm just keeping my speed low because I know that I'm turning. I could have kept up with the traffic ahead, which I did because the car in front was turning, but I kept my speed low because I knew that I was turning. I checked that mirror a couple of times as well, just in case I'm about to change direction, so I want to know that there's no cyclist that's crept up. Cyclists are silent, so we need to know what's happening there because we can't hear them like we can hear motorbikes. Okay, parked vehicle, I'm going to check the right mirror. Even if I'm just taking a tiny direction change, I'm going to check it anyway. Zebra crossing. Now the left side's hidden. Now I can see it's clear, so I'm going to speed up through. I was just holding my speed steady there until I was sure that it was clear to go. Parked vehicles, I'm just going to check on the right. I'm not actually needing to move, but if you're planning ahead really well, if a car door opens, I'm going to need to swerve out, and I know that that's clear now because I've checked it. If you can see a motorbike there though, then what will happen if a car door opens is you'll just emergency stop instead of smashing into the motorbike. Okay, lights turn green, but I'm gonna
300 yards, cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
I'm gonna still
then
slow down
turn right.
for that green light, because if I slow down early enough, what will happen is I'll get to the back of the line of traffic. They'll already have started moving. Instead of bombing up to it and then having to slow down and potentially stop, I've slowed down in advance. Okay, let's start dealing with this roundabout. The earlier you plan for junctions, the easier it's going to be.
Roundabout and
Take the second exit. Cool.
Then turn right.
Got it the first time. I'm going into second gear nice and early. I know I don't have to signal. Still doing the checklist, mirror, signal, position, speed, and look. Okay, cool, that was easy. There was a vehicle on the right, but they weren't moving because they were blocked off by someone else.
Yards, turn right, then turn right.
Nice. Barking is quite a nice place to take a driving test. The scenery's not beautiful. There's nicer places to take a driving test, but it's not too bad to drive around. The speed limits make sense. Most of it's 30.
Right, then turn right.
Mirror, signal, positioning right there. I'm going to put myself right in the box before I turn. Even though there's nothing coming, I'm not going to take it sideways. I'm going to put myself in the correct position. There's no doubt now that I know how to use those right turn boxes. That car has stopped for me. I'm going to give a thanks. And I'm not going to hesitate
100 yards, turn right.
and be like, oh, are they letting me? Clearly, they're letting me go. If they're not moving, I'm going to move. 20 zone, just past that sign, turn right
Turn
here.
right.
So I'm now inside a 20-mile-an-hour zone. I'm going to wait till I'm on that box to start turning. And the examiner's probably on this road, going to ask me to pull up on the left because it looks very nice and residential.
100 yards,
So
turn left.
let's do that. Mirror and signal. Start slowing the car down nice and early. I've got my clutch down so that I can then just coast the last 10 meters. It gives you a much smoother pullover. We don't need to get too close to the curb. I'm about, well, I'm actually quite close to the curb, but you can be up to a foot away or about a drain width away. That's your safety margin. Don't try and get super close to the curb in case you bump it. Then handbrake neutral. The examiner will either give you another direction to do something or just ask you to drive on. Okay, drive on when you're ready. And here's the sequence that I like to teach my students. Prepare, observe, signal, and if it's clear, then handbrake comes off and we roll. And we're going to turn left. I can see that on the sat nav. I'm preparing myself before she's even told me. Second gear for this one, mirror and signal.
Turn left.
I did signal quite a lot later on that one, but because my speed is at 10 miles an hour, that makes sense. I'm enjoying, this is fun. This is so much fun. I enjoy doing walkthroughs so much. Haven't done one at Barking, don't know why. I've come to Barking Driving Test Centre quite a few times. The fact that I haven't done one at Barking yet is crazy. Check my mirror. That learner's being hesitant. Either they're parking really far away from the curb or they're letting me go first. Either way, if there's no car coming towards me, then I'm going to go towards them. And it's not actually a requirement that you have to say thanks to people. It's polite because we're British and we're polite like that, okay? So if you want to give a 4-finger salute just to thank people, that's okay. But if you think that you can't handle that because it's a driving test, then that's no problem at all. The examiner, 9 times out of 10, will just say thanks for you because polite and British. But it's really easy. Just look, slide your hand to the top of the steering wheel, 4 fingers off, and they will be able to see that in the other car. Okay, checking mirrors to move around that car. This car's not slowing down, so I'm going to slow down through that little gap. Went down to 14 miles an hour there. This is a nice, easy road. Here's another question I get asked quite a lot. Well, the road speed is 20 miles an hour. I'm not doing 20 miles an hour, I'm doing 15 miles an hour right now. The speed limit's not a target. We shouldn't always be trying to aim for the speed limit, and you're not driving too slowly if you're not driving at the speed limit. Especially if there's speed bumps, that's a really big indication that the max speed of the road is not the safe speed. So just assess the safe speed of the road based on what's going on the road. Like, there's parked cars, my visibility of the pavement on the left, in fact also the right, is very reduced. Look, now I've got a car coming towards me, so I'm squeezed, slowing my speed down even more because the hazard's rising. As a general rule, if the hazard goes up, your speed should go down. As the level of hazard
At the end of the road, turn left.
as the level of hazard gets lower, then your speed can rise. My hazard's getting higher, coming up to the end of the road.
Turn left.
Mirror, signal, so my speed is dropping. And that works for all situations. Hey, I can see it's clear, so I'm not stopping. Let's go. Checking my mirrors as I join a new road. What's happening ahead? There is not much happening ahead, but it's a blind corner. I can't really see all the way around it. So I'm just holding my speed there at 24 miles an hour, just in case. Slowing down here, getting squeezed, the hazard's going up. As the hazard goes down now there's no parked cars, my speed can rise. I can see a sign for a mini roundabout here, which isn't on the sat-nav, but I can see on the sat-nav that I'm just going straight ahead. So mirrors, no signal, position is good, speed is good, and look. Here's the thing about the sat-nav, it's just a computer analysing the road, and sometimes it misses things. Sometimes it also gives you instructions that it doesn't really need to. So take
After 200 yards, turn right.
Take it with a pinch of salt. What's out of the windscreen, you have to act on and deal with. Anything that's out of the windscreen that you don't deal with, you can't just say, well, the sat-nav didn't tell me. That's not a good enough excuse. Right, 100 yards to go,
right.
Mirror, signal. There's the right turn box, which I'm gonna sit on. One more mirror check, and I'm gonna get right into that box. First gear, because I've slowed down below 10 miles an hour. There's a 20 sign. The problem with 20 signs, or any speed sign, is that they'll come, I'm gonna be proactive here. I don't think I'm gonna get past this guy, so I'm just taking control of the situation by forcing him into a passing place. They forced me into a passing place by stopping somewhere. They've made me stop where they want, they've made me go where they've stopped.
Turn left.
If you bring your car to a halt, let's demonstrate. So let's say I want them to go into...
Left.
Okay, I'll demonstrate in a second. Mirror, signal, position, speed. Okay, this road's busy. Let's imagine that there's a car coming towards us. You're gonna quickly jump into that spot, but do this instead. If there's a bigger spot on their side, just come to a stop. They can see the spot, and by you stopping adjacent to it, you've given them the indication that's where I want you to go. So you can give yourself an easier drive by doing something like that. Don't always jump into the side spot. Meeting situations are a tricky one to master, but it's not always your need to get it out of the way for everyone. Sometimes you can make other people work harder for you. Okay, let's talk about 20 signs. That's what I was talking about. The problem is they'll be at the beginning or the end of a road.
At the end of the road, turn left.
Where you're probably more thinking about turning, about junctions, about looking. Let's do it now. Mirror, signal. There's the 30 sign. If I'm thinking about the junction,
left.
I'm going to miss that for sure. Let's let her go first. And I'm positioning nicely into that junction. There is a car coming, so I'm going to stop there. There's another one coming. I can't really see because there's some parked cars in the way, but I can see through the windscreen of the one in front to see what's happening. Okay. This guy's kind of blocking the road a little bit too much for me to feel comfortable about going on the wrong side of the road. So I've stopped, I let them go first. And here's the thing about driving, right? There's so many different situations. There's 101 different things that could happen to you. Well, 101 million probably different things that can happen to you on each drive. You can't learn all of them in a driving lesson. Sometimes you just have to apply common sense. Like, what would you do if you're walking? Or here's the question to ask yourself. If I was on my own right now and I didn't know what to do, what would be the safest course of action? Even if it's not the textbook correct thing to do, if you're choosing the safest course, what you think is the safest course of action, then you're probably going to be okay. Okay, I'm looking out for, see that there on the road, did you miss that? There's 3 things that you should be looking out for. I can see brake lights in the car in front, through the car in front. 3 things that you should be looking out for while you're driving. Road signs, road markings, and all of the other road users. So I was looking out for road signs. I saw the road sign had a left turn arrow. I checked my mirror, moved right around it. I can see this guy's trying to get out, so I'm going to let that happen. Okay, loads of learners around here. Loads of bloody learners. Cool. If you've got your driving test coming up, you're probably going to need to watch or learn your show me, tell me questions, vehicle safety questions. I've got 2 really good videos about show me, tell me questions. Here's what you need to do. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel as well. On the channel homepage, there's the best show me, tell me video. For sure, for real, the best show me, tell me video. I made it, I can say that. Or maybe you're not supposed to blow your own trumpet. I'm doing it anyway. The best show me, tell me video. So if you've subscribed to this channel, when you have finished this video, you can then go back to the channel that you've subscribed to, this one, Driving School TV, and then you can watch the show me, tell me video. Boom. And I've got loads of other videos in barking as
After
well.
200 yards, turn right, then turn left.
I think I'm on 3 barking mock tests now, but don't quote me on that. 3 or 4. There's 3 or 4 other videos at barking as well with different driving test routes.
Turn
So
right, then turn left.
yeah, if your videos at if your test is at barking, you've just found your happy place. Where shall I stop? Right here, where I'm adjacent to the new road. Boom, I can see a car coming, so I'm just gonna slide it back into first gear, checking my mirrors. I'm not in a hurry, I'm on a driving test, no problem. I'm even gonna give them a thanks because he thanked me too. There's a car coming down the road at a significant rate of knots. I was thinking about forcing them into that passing place, but that car was belting it down the road. So I thought different. And it's all about making decisions on the fly. Quick decisions based around safety. But I don't want to be, there's a balance. There's a balance between being safe and just being super unconfident and blocking up the road and taking ages. Can you make it?
200 yards, turn left.
Here's how to think about it. I'm late for work, but I'm being followed by the police. That's how I want to drive. That's how I want to drive. Oh, we're in Seven Kings. Okay, mirror, signal. This does say turn left mandatory, but I'm still going to signal. There's like pedestrians and cyclists and stuff. There's lots of vehicles that might not know. I can see these ones are indicating, so I am going to take that. Loads of road users might not know that that's a left turn only. Only the people coming from behind me will know that's left turn only, so I am going to signal anyway. Yep. Okay, choice of 2 lanes. Which one am I going to choose? Everyone's in the right lane, but we should be in the left lane for this. But I'm not going to try and get past this red car, otherwise then I'm going to have to merge. So I'm just going to take it easy. There is an ambulance behind. I can see that. I'm not going to panic. I'm just going to start slowing down. Moving to the left. Let's indicate. Oh, the ambulance turned. But that was the correct course of action. If the ambulance wanted to come this way, don't panic. Slow down. Find a safe place to pull over. If there isn't one, keep going. Keep going, because if you stop where there's no safe place for people to pass, then you've basically just blocked the road. It's going to take the ambulance longer to get by you. Right, these cars look like they were parked, but now they're moving off. So red light coming up, checking that blue car is mega close behind me. Isaac Newton Academy with a convoy of cars going into it. Cool. I'm not belting it up to the red light because what's going to happen, I'm just going to have to stay stationary. Eco driving. Let's talk about eco driving, because that was a good eco driving tip. If the light's red, there's no point accelerating. We're going to just cruise or coast up to the line. You will get marked on eco driving on your driving test. So you do want to take decisions and take actions that will burn less fuel or use less brakes, or you can use less acceleration for. But here's the but. Eco driving, yes, it is marked on your driving test, but it's not a pass or fail. It's not even a driver fault. If the examiner thinks you were driving in an eco-safe manner, braking smoothly, letting off the accelerator early, then if you were driving in an eco-safe manner, the box won't get a tick. If you weren't driving in an eco-safe manner, then the box will get a tick. But it has no bearing or impact on your driving test. It doesn't make your examiner your driving instructor look good.
After 300 yards, keep left, then cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
Or bad. It literally has no impact on your driving test at all. Not to say that you should drive in a not eco-friendly manner, just don't worry about it too much. Just pass your driving test by driving safely. That's your main focus, and that's where your efforts should lie. Right, I'm gonna jump in the left lane because I can see on the sat nav I'm looking.
Keep
I'm not
left,
going.
then cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
I'm not going right around this square about. I'm keeping to the left, so I've chosen this lane. I think that's smart. I don't actually know the area of Barking very well, so that's why the planning ahead is really important. That's why looking at the sat nav is really important. And you should be able to pass a driving test anywhere, like absolutely anywhere. But there's a big but in that one. But passing a driving test in an area that you don't know is going to be more difficult. So I would recommend only taking a driving test in your local area. I know, that's really difficult nowadays because it's really hard to find a driving test. Like, people are going to Scotland and doing wild shit to pass driving tests because if you fail, you don't want to wait 6 months because I can drive right now. I just want a quick retest, but that's not possible. So I understand. If you must go to Scotland and you're going to take friends or family, maybe get there 2 or 3 days earlier so that you can then practice
Cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
around the test route. Right, she's not saying left or right, but from exactly where I am right now, I'd say that's a right turn past the 12 o'clock position. Really important not to go directly over mini roundabouts. We want to make some effort to go around them, but not too much where it looks like your body language, the position of your car is going the wrong way.
Go right on the roundabout and take the second exit.
Boom. Okay, so this one again, I want to go around it and not cut across it, but that's difficult because it's quite small. So I've cut across it with 2 wheels, perfectly fine. New road. Ooh, why am I going into third? New road, new hazards. Checking the mirrors, looking well ahead. Always looking for road signs, road markings, and all of the other road users. That's important. Road signs are going to tell you what to do now. Road signs are going to tell you what's going on next. And we don't want to crash into other road users. We want to see what they're doing and anticipate their next move. So, yeah, we're going to look out for them. Cyclists, motorbikes, cars, vans, lorries, even pedestrians.
After 90 yards, turn left.
If the pedestrians, these workmen guys, are using the road, yeah, then we're going to look out for them. Mirror, signal,
turn left.
position, who's got priority? Me. And even though he's going, I'm not going to be a hesitant learner. I know I've got priority. I'm confident in my abilities. This guy's in a hurry, cool. But it's my driving test. I am the most important person on the road right now. Remember that. Who's the most important person on the road? You're going to normally on lessons think everybody else. But actually, when you're on a driving test, think about it like this. Like, you don't want to hold anyone up. That's what's always going through your head when you're on a lesson, right? Oh, I'm just like, oh, everyone's like,
After
oh,
100 yards,
want to get
go
past.
right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
When you're on a driving test, all of that needs to go out of your head. You're the
Go
most
right
important
on the
person
roundabout and take the third exit.
on your driving test. Right, this is a one-way road, so I'm going to position to the right, but I still need to make some effort to go around the roundabout. That was a tricky one, actually. Slightly, that was really tricky. Because on the one hand, I had a one-way road, I was turning right, so I need to position all the way to the right of that junction. But I also had a roundabout, which I need to go around. And I don't want to make my body language, another roundabout that the sat-nav hasn't picked up. Okay, so she looks like she is actually crossing. Pedestrians have priority at junctions except roundabouts. So she didn't have priority there. But I was anticipating and using my brain. I mean, there's 101 different situations that are going to happen every time you drive. Common sense comes through. Common sense must prevail. She had her buggy in the road. I was going to stop for her for sure. And the examiner will appreciate that too. The main thing that you need to remember is the examiner's not looking for anything special. All the stuff that your instructors said is essential. Keep 2 hands on the steering wheel. Check mirrors every 3 to 5 seconds. All of the things that your instructors probably said are essential. Well, not all of them. Some of them are not going to be essential. Like, obviously you have to check mirrors before you signal. Obviously. But actually, what they're just looking for is for you to be a safe driver. What they're looking for is for you to get around.
Turn left.
Sure. They're looking for you to get around a driving test route without causing a nuisance, without being a hazard, without holding up other road users, just slot into other traffic. When I give you a pink license at the end of this, that's a full driving license. currently yours is green, right? Mine's pink. You want a pink one too. When they give you a pink driving license, are you just going to slot into the rest of the traffic, be safe, and take care of other people on the road? If the answer is yes, cool, you can have one. If the answer is no, then that's when you need to go home for more practice. It's not that deep. I promise you, if you take one thing from this video, a driving test is not that deep. You build it up into your head, into this huge mountain of an insurmountable task. It's just this big Mount Everest feeling thing, and it's difficult, right? No, it's not. It's just driving, and you just have to drive safely for 30 minutes, 35 minutes. That's all it is. Have a look at all of these cars on the road. They've all done the same thing that you're trying to do. Everybody's passed, I can see you're going. Everybody's passed a driving test. Think about all your mates that you know who can drive. Everybody's got one mate that's a bit of a donut, right? But he's got a license. Because it's not that deep, it's not that hard. When you overthink it, that's when it becomes difficult. When you overthink it, that's when problems and challenges start occurring. When you overthink things like your driving test, because actually I'm just driving. If I can drive, okay, cool, I'm a driving instructor, so I've done this and I know exactly what's required of a driving test, but I can drive around this driving test route in Barking, which is pretty hard. I don't want to say Barking's like difficult, but it's not the easiest place to take a driving test. It's quite busy. Like, it's going to be challenges. This lady is, I'm keeping my eye on her for sure. There's so many challenging situations in Barking. If I can do it while waffling to you the whole time, you can do it with max concentration. It's only 30 minutes. What are you worried about? Put your questions in the comments. I've got you. I want all of you to pass your driving test. Do you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to link some videos. Click here. There's another Barking mock test. Watch other mock tests to see how people drive. You can pick up on good things that people do and emulate them. You can pick up on bad things that people do and then know not to do them. And then your driving will improve. If you're watching mock tests in between lessons, then even if they're not at your driving test center, you're going to see the standard. You're going to see how other people drive. Please watch mock tests in between lessons. It's going to keep your mind thinking about driving. Driving is a course. You're paying for a learning package, so treat it with the same as you treat uni or college. You wouldn't go home and just forget about it for a week, which I know a lot of people learning to drive do. You expect to come to a lesson for 2 hours and then go home, come back to another lesson for 2 hours.
After 200 yards, you have reached your destination.
And then come after 40 hours or 20 lessons and then just have a driving license. But actually you have to absorb the information, you have to know the stuff, you have to understand the course, you have to make safe decisions on the road and keep people safe. Driving's not easy when you first start, it's a skill, it's really difficult. But once you've got that experience and once you've immersed yourself into the world, you'll get good at it, promise. And it'll get easier as well, promise. I'm going to help out these kids because, yeah, they look precarious and I'm a nice guy. Would I have done that on an actual driving test though?
You have reached your destination.
I think I probably would have, but I'd verbalise it. You can talk to your driving examiner as well. They're not like police or ogres or some scary bots. Just talk to them. Say, oh, I'm not sure about these kids here. I think I want to help them out. Oh, right, cool. That's why you did it. Great, makes sense. Anytime that you're on a situation and you're thinking it through in your head, think it through out loud, because then they know what you're thinking. It's going to make the examiner feel so much better to know what you're doing and your reasoning behind it. And then it might be like, oh, why did you let those people go? They weren't at a junction, they didn't have priority. Did that, I don't know now. I can't ask you whether you knew about the priority situation there, because it will prompt you to give me the, oh yeah, I did, of course I did answer. So if you just say, oh yeah, I knew I had priority over those kids there, but I kind of want to help them out. Makes sense. Cool, I'm happy with that. Was it safe? Yeah. Was it in the rules? Yeah, cool. Okay, we're good, we move on. This road, we are near the test center now. So the sat-nav stopped directing me. She said I've come to the end of the route. And what that means is the examiner is going to direct you around the rest of the route from here. See all of these hazards. Barking is not an easy place to take a driving test. The more you practice, the more you immerse yourself in this world of driving, the easier it's going to be. Go full force into learning to drive. Take it super seriously. Think of it as like the best thing in the world, which it is. It's so good. Like, even if you don't care about cars, driving is the best. Imagine you can drive to Sainsbury's, you can drive to Tesco's and bring back a whole crap ton of shopping. It's driving is legit amazing. The freedom that it gives you, like, okay, you don't want to drive to Sainsbury's or Tesco's because you can get home delivery, fine. Imagine where you can go though. You can visit your mates who live in another city, Manchester, Leeds, Liverpool. Come on, driving is the best. I'm turning right here. Back into the road with the test centre, and I'm going to just park on the left because that's a cool parking spot and I don't want to wait for the temporary traffic lights. Guys, thanks for watching the barking walkthrough, and if there's any other walkthroughs that you want, stick them in the comments. Any questions in the comments, I'm here to help you. Follow me on Instagram at Driving School TV, follow me on TikTok at Driving School TV. YouTube thinks that you'll love this video, algorithm recommended, so check it out, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.